most welcome to Historiespanerna, History Reconnaissance, and Defending Alaska. Follows back to 1956 and Operation Moosehorn, a U.S. Army cold weather training exercise conducted in Alaska. The exercise aimed to test the endurance and operational capabilities of military personnel and equipment in Arctic conditions. Soldiers from the 4th Infantry Regiment participated in maneuvers near Fort Greely, Alaska. The operation involved a substantial convoy of 215 Army trucks stretching over 40 miles, underscoring the logistical challenges of moving equipment in harsh winter environments. And please, subscribe to our channel and join us on our journey in history.
Remember that Russia is right across the Bering Strait, only 56 miles away from the tip of the Seward Peninsula. At such close quarters, the Cold War has become a real factor in Alaskan life, and Alaska itself has become the western end of our Arctic rampart. But the defense of a huge snow-swept wilderness presents tremendous problems.
America rolls back its northern frontiers. Near Fort Greely, Alaska, men and vehicles struggle through the biting Arctic winds and snow. Their mission, to find out how we shall fight in the Arctic should the need arise. Operation Moosehorn utilizes 10,000 men and is conducted in an area where temperatures of 68 below zero have been recorded this winter. Combat teams moved forward on skis.
Engines get mighty stubborn and uncooperative. But a blast of hot air from the old Herman Nielsen heater will usually bring them around. There she goes, purring just like the old bus back home.
H-hour D-Day, and the 1st Battalion pulls out of Fort Greely. Objective, aggressor forces 45 miles away. The advanced trail-breaking unit shoves off first. The bulk of the battalion will follow with more tanks, more men, and more vehicles. Then the 2nd Battalion will get underway. 2,400 men against the unpredictable Arctic winter.
Maneuver plan. The exercise will be conducted on terrain that is representative of subarctic areas. The existing road net will not be utilized.
Transport planes deliver 400 tons of supplies to forward areas, while the steady advance of ground troops toward the enemy objective proceeds. Despite the bitter weather, the advance rolls relentlessly forward. Tents must be pitched on 40 inches of snow, slight protection against a 60-mile-an-hour polar blizzard. Should war come, the defenders of the Arctic Circle have been tested to the limit.
Exercise Moosehorn will be conducted on undeveloped Arctic terrain. The existing road net will not be utilized. Supply by air and by overland transport will be compared and evaluated. Ability of units to deliver timely and accurate fire will be determined.
One of the primary purposes of Exercise Moosehorn was to determine the most effective method of resupplying large combat units under adverse Arctic conditions. Tons of material started coming into Fort Greely. The 54th Squadron, the Eager Beavers, did yeoman duty bringing the supplies in. Two basic methods of resupply were to be compared and evaluated, one overland by cat train and the other by air. There were 2 battalions to be in the field at once. One would receive supplies by cat train, the other by airdrop. The Army was going to determine just what the advantages and disadvantages of both methods were.
Those 2 battalions in the field were going to need a lot of stuff, and it poured into Greely by air and by land. A truck convoy 40 miles long came up the Alcan Highway from the United States.
Maneuver situation. 1100 hours, forward elements of the 2nd Battalion struck the aggressor forces on their northern flank, apparently by surprise. 1,500 hours. Caught between the concentrated fire of the 1st and 2nd Battalions, the aggressor forces suffered heavy casualties and are at present reported in disorderly retreat. Elements of the United States forces are moving overland to maintain contact. Simulated casualties from both U.S. battalions are being evacuated by the 57th Helicopter Evacuation Company from Fort Sam Houston, Texas.
With the maneuver enemy defeated, the simulated battle is over. The tactical phase of Moosehorn has come to an end.
On the way back to Greeley, we had time to think it over. And you know, we learned one big thing. We learned that we could live and move and even fight in the Arctic if we had to. But don't let anybody tell you it's a no-sweat proposition.
Tired but successful, the Moosehorn veterans return to Fort Greely. Proudly, they pass in review. Moosehorn was the longest Army maneuver ever held in Alaska, and the biggest. Over half the Army forces stationed in Alaska participated. For the first time, troops from the United States were employed in an Alaskan maneuver. An ambitious exercise has been a success.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.